What am I talking about? Of course you are.
Of course!
Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going.
Of course!
You came. Of course.
Of course!
Of course.
Of course!
At a glass, I make my way to my room. Mitao really piled on homework today. Before I could open my door, however, I was suddenly interrupted by Kenji. He had just exploded out of his own room in a flurry of papers. Hey! We need to talk. These rooftop shenanigans of yours, man. You've got to stop. What? You're running around the rooftop with the limitless wonders. They're women, man. You'll get yourself killed running around like that. I don't follow. Kenji sighs and adjusts his glasses before what could be understood as an attempt at explaining himself patiently. Look, we're friends, and I'm telling you this for your own good. But if I were going to kill someone, I'd do it by throwing them off the roof and making it look like an accident. Well, isn't there a gate around the roof that keeps people from jumping off? Unless they climb over it, but honestly, like, who's gonna really... Oh wait, we're in a... I'm actually curious now. Yeah, skip it. And if I've thought of it, you can be sure they've thought of it too. They're crafty, almost as crafty as I am. I see. This guy's a nutcase. Good. I'm glad we had this chat. Loan me 500 yen. What's up? I'm sorry? I need to get a drink, man. I've been inside all day and the tap water's been compromised, as I'm sure you know. So I need to stock up on something canned. Got it? But to do that, I need 500 yen. And since I've saved your life with my timely advice, you can at least spare me 500 yen. You know, if I'll make you go away, 500 yen is a bargain. I hand the money over to Kenji, who nods and thanks and dashes off down the hallway, but not before he locks his door. What an exhausting person. I better go in case he changes his mind. As I close the door, my heel taps against something lying on the floor. It's a brightly colored rectangle of paper. Ah, this must be that something, quote-unquote, you should mention before. Probably a student council leaflet she slid under the door. However, when I pick it up, I feel that I couldn't have been more wrong. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that this day and age anyway? Yet, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, this is definitely a letter I have in my hands. I was planning on finishing my homework, getting some dinner, and going to bed in order to be ready for tomorrow's morning run. However, the letter has naturally caught my interest. I sat my desk and examined it properly. It's the first piece of mail I've received here in Yamaku, so it'd feel special even if it wasn't something as rare as a handwritten letter. What causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender, written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanoko. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwanoko is the last person I expect to want to write me a letter. Isn't that the girl that didn't show after Well wasn't showing up at the hospital? Man, you loved him enough to leave him, didn't you? Last time I saw Iwanoko was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye, and didn't look me in the eye when she closed the door. It might have been a natural end to the series of visits that was probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. She looked so guilty that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her, and I never could figure out the right words to say. I think Iwanoko blamed herself for my heart attack, That's ridiculous, of course, but knowing it and believing it are two very different things. I told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been that, then sooner or later something else would have made my heart give out. And she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened the door and entered my room. So I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Carefully, I opened the envelope and drew out the folded letter from within. Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. Everyone has missed you. Almost all of our second year class got put together in class 3-1 for the final year. So we are pretty comfortable right from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third years seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they are so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tashibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after his second year. But here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think we are already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where that went. The new first years seem so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I ran to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. Oh my gosh, stop it. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. Yeah, I think I have had quite enough of this. I crumple up the sheet of paper and toss it across the room. My aim is off, so the letter rolls under my nightstand instead of going into my wastebasket. I wasn't apologizing for abandoning it, except I don't know that I really need it anymore at this point. The hospital seems like a lifetime ago, and here now, I've got other things on my mind. Like Emmy. Emmy for a second. Oh, yes, I'm good. It isn't now for the past few times I've been like reading this guy's mind. It wasn't great to be abandoned during my stay, but it's not something I'm worried about anymore. In fact, I hadn't even thought about the hospital and what feels like forever until this letter came in. It's almost annoying to have received it. I got exams to study for myself. I have no time for the past. Now, about that homework. So what's the plan for today anyway? I'm waiting patiently in the hallway of the girls' dormitory just outside of Emmy and Rin's rooms. Emmy is apparently helping Rin while getting dressed. It doesn't makes perfect sense. So I have no idea when Rin would. So I have no idea how Rin would get dressed otherwise. Picnic. That's what I said. Sounds pretty exciting. I know, right? Rin chooses this moment to make an observation. The sky seems threatening today. Actually, I noticed that too. On my way over, despite the sunshine of the early morning, the afternoon seems to have taken a turn for the gloomy. There's a heaviness in the air as well that usually heralds a rainstorm. I wonder if I should have brought my umbrella. Oh, it's not working anymore. She's got a point. Aw, I liked using the spacebar. I mean, you sure that you still want to risk getting caught in the rain? I don't even know why I bothered asking. Emmy pops out of Rin's room into the hallway looking shocked that I'd even suggest canceling our plans.
Of course. Of course!
What, the threat of rain supposed to stop me? Oh, whoops. Whatever she said.
Stop me. Don't stop me now.
I can't help but grin at her belligerent response. It's almost like she's daring the rain to come. Mother Nature is walking down the street. I think Emmy would probably start a fight with her. Come at me, bro. Or at the least challenge her to a race. In fact, Emmy seems also almost aggressively cheerful today. Rin wanders out into the hallway. Look at your usual self. Come on, Spacebar, why you no work? Well then, are we all ready to go?
I'm ready.
Rin nods and says a single word. Basket. Beg pardon? The basket in Emmy's room. You should carry it. Emmy claps a hand to her mouth, embarrassed.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot all of it. Nice save, Rin.
Emmy darts into her room and emerges with what looks like a very well-stocked picnic basket. And she hands it over to me. I note that it feels heavy enough to be one too. Good lord, how much food did she pack? More to the point, where'd she get the money for all of this? So, are we set to head out?
Yep.
Rin gives another nod and we head out of the dormitory. Spacebar, you left me, bro. I can't help but frown when I notice how gray the sky has gotten in the 10 minutes I was inside. Still, Emmy does not seem concerned by such petty concerns as the color of the sky. She's positively skipping as we walk. Which reminds me, where are we going? This brings Emmy up short and she shoots me an embarrassed look. Man, I got something sick.
You know, I haven't really thought of that. What do you think, Hisao?
Well, there's the spot where we ate during the festival, but it might be nice to leave the campus for a while. However, I'm not sure if there's any good places to do that in town. Just as I'm about to open my mouth, Rin unexpectedly interjects with the suggestion.
There's a park in down near the art shop.
Great idea. Wait. Aha, I got the voice mixed up.
Good idea, Rin. I totally forgot all about that place.
Crisis averted. Do you know how to get there, Rin? Rin shrugs. It's pretty lively.
Good enough for me.
I would prefer knowing for sure, but what the heck. Lead on, Rin. Lead on, man, lead on. Three of us quickly make our way off campus and take the road down into town. The basket's a bit heavy. I hope that the park is close by. We pass the art supply store, Rin slowing her pace slightly as we go by. I gotta look at the art, man. It's my passion. Emmy notices Rin's change of pace and stops.
You wanna go in, Rin?
Rin shrugs. Nothing I need.
Are you sure?
There's a slight flutter of a smile on Rin's face, quickly replaced by her usual expression. Life's uncertain, but on this, at least I'm pretty sure. That's for you to offer.
Well, it felt like I'm the one carrying the basket. But I bet Hisao wouldn't have minded anyway, right?
Oh, of course not.
Of course!
This is hardly a heavy load. I flex for emphasis. Emmy stifles a snort of laughter by pointing to the park at which we've suddenly arrived.
Oh, I remember this place. I ran into you here the one time, didn't I, Rin?
Rin's eyebrow raises slightly. Maybe. I'm unwilling to say for certain one way or the other. Memory is a tricky thing, you know. Well, I'll be. We made it in one piece after all. The sun's still nowhere to be seen, but neither Emmy nor Rin seem to mind. We find a spot to sit on the grass, and I set the basket down gratefully. There's a surprising amount of food prepared. That small basket was heavy for you? Or like, that doesn't look heavy at all. There's chips, sandwich. What is this? This isn't, what? That's not even that much. There's a surprising amount of food prepared. Maybe we were supposed to be joined by some of Emmy's teammates or something.
I'm starving. Dig in.
She attacks the food as if she's had nothing to eat for years. Oh, that happened. I'm just reaching for food myself when I feel the Emmy's face. I feel the first drop of rain land on the back of my hand. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Looks like the weather is not going to cooperate with us after all. Emmy glares at the sky as if that alone will help hold back the rain.
Dang it, Rain, why did you come?
I very nearly believe she can do it. It's one heck of a glare.
It had better cooperate. You hear me, Sky? Stop that raining right this instant.
And if the rain just stopped, I would have laughed. The sky doesn't seem inclined to listen to her, despite the commanding tone she's taken with it. Instead, the rain seems to increase. Rin wrinkles her nose in distaste at this turn of events. Incredible. Yeah, I accidentally was doing the wrong voice. I was like, oh, gotta change it back.
What do you mean?
Rin shrugs. I could paint this if I were burnt out here. Shame to miss it at all. She doesn't seem angry or annoyed at all, just a little disappointed. Ray laughs in response to Rain's comment.
Guess we should have stuff in that art supply store after all, huh?
Rain increases a little more, offended that we haven't fled yet. Despite the warm temperatures we've been enjoying, the rain is rather cold. I wish I'd brought my umbrella. Hey, we should probably head inside to keep dry.
We're already pretty wet, Hisao.
Yeah, but we can dry off that way, and maybe wait out the storm. You don't want to catch a cold or anything, do you? Amy considers this for a moment. I can tell that part of her wants to stay out in the rain just to spite the weather.
Spite.
Unfortunately for her, the wet weather hardly cares about what we do.
I suppose you're right. Where could we go?
I don't have the answer for her. The area is still pretty new to me. Though I guess I'm slowly getting used to the school itself. The surrounding town remains a mystery. All I know is the art supply store, and that's only because we've just passed it. Fortunately, Emmy soon snaps her fingers in triumph.
That's it. There's a tea shop nearby. We should have some tea and dry out. No problem.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Great. You know where it is? Emmy nods, looking fairly confident.
Sure do. I think it'll be an adventure either way, right?
Adventure, huh? Well, I suppose we could use a little adventure. I think as long as we get out of the rain, I'll be happy. The picnic basket is a little lighter now, at least. Lead on. Rin and I follow Emmy as she wades through the streets with something approaching confidence.
Now, I'd love to hear it. There, the Shanghai.
Shanghai! Emmy beams triumphantly as she points at the tea shop. It seems fairly crowded inside, a symptom of a sudden rain, I'm sure.
Of course!